Hello. How's it going?
Not too shabby. Just hanging out, having a good, low productive Monday here.
Seeing how the all these NFTs are just dropping in price recently. How are you feeling about Punks basically the IP being held by Yuga? Maybe Punks will be the number one NFT at the end of all this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about punks long term. And frankly, if I had some spare cash, I'd probably be deploying it into punks right now. But I'm more or less fully allocated, so it is what it is. But I definitely thought about running around the neighborhood asking people to give me money to throw into punks because I think the bottom for punks is like now or very soon. I don't think even if like Yuga were to go under that, punks would go with it. I don't think that's possible at all. But it surely isn't as good as punks being, completely free from any anchor.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, they're doing all their extra games. There's their collaborations with, well, actually, Animo can spend a large investment, and seeing all their metaverse stuff going on, and how Sandbox game, which is owned by Animo,
Right.
is now paused. It paused all of for some special update they claimed, right? So far it's lasted a month, and everybody's wondering, okay, so what could be going on, right? Because they've never had this long of a pause before.
Mhm.
They've always had events going off back to back to back, getting NFTs, getting crypto. Like I've played a lot of sandbox game things. More, it's basically like imagine Super Mario 64
Mhm.
and a bunch of themes going on. So you have to do a bunch of quests. There's ones where it feels like I'm actually, going up the mountain to be, the bomb king guy, right? Going around and doing all these little missions to go to the top of the peak of this little mountain. And and yeah, I made like let's say $600 in sand tokens, by doing all that stuff. It's kind of
Was it
nice.
fun?
Um, I would say it was very informative, right? Because they've had sponsors for projects, and I would say it was kind of fun. I would give it a five or a six. Not like,
Or like you'd
oh,
much
I'm
rather be
comparing.
spending your time playing different games?
Well, the thing is, it's more or less like you're playing a quest. It's not like you can interact with the world anyway besides pressing A or whatever on a character, to have him talk to you, right? Kind of like role play.
Right. It's just like run from point A to point B and then back to point A.
Yeah, and then collecting, and then sometimes there are these little tokens on the ground where you can collect them. Yeah, and then you'll have to get like 30 of these tokens, which you'll get by doing all the quests, one for each quest. And once you complete the missions, or the quests, you'll like complete that whole thing, and then you wait a few weeks,
Mhm.
you'll be sent, hey, we're gonna claim these same tokens from Polygon, and you'll just claim and go to your old wallet, whatever, on your tab there.
I see.
And then so when they open up their land buys, they have like about 1,000 sand tokens to buy some sandbox land. So I'm just like, maybe just hold on to them for now and just use those tokens like for sandbox land.
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember when like the sandbox trailers came out a long time ago. I was pretty bullish. I thought Decentraland was pretty meh. It reminds me at the time, and probably still now, it reminded me a lot of the memes of, the low fidelity nature of the metaverse. It'll be like a meme of like my Mark Zuckerberg's avatar next to like an actually high fidelity world. So I kind of had that sentiment about Decentraland. Like this is pretty shitty experience. Didn't really understand why land was going for 5, 6 ETH, but I imagine that's the same sentiment a lot of people have towards monkey JPEGs. So sort of just shrugged that off. Then I looked at crypto voxels and thought, this is cool. It's a little bit more decentralized than Decentraland. And it felt just more Ethereum to me. I don't know why, but the whole brand and vibe of it just felt more on par with like an Ethereum community than Decentraland did. So I bought a plot in crypto voxels for about, I want to say 5 or 6 ETH, which I did in a private transaction, which was really crazy. Yeah, at the time, Ethereum was worth a few grand. So this is like a 10,000 plus dollar transaction. I just sent it to a stranger and they sent me the parcel in crypto voxels. But yeah, so like around this time, I was pretty interested in the whole metaverse thing and buying digital land as like an alternative investment category. And when I saw the sandbox stuff come out, I got really excited because I played a lot of Minecraft and I absolutely loved the aesthetic of that world. That's partially what drew me to crypto voxels, even though crypto voxels is pretty darn ugly. Um, but I also thought, maybe there was something bigger here that Sandbox was going to be able to do with, interoperability of different games people would build on their own pieces of land. So, anyways, long story short, I actually bought a 3x3 in one of Sandbox's sales. They did their sales kind of in lots or in batches. I think like wave three of their sales, I was the fastest clicker and was able to get a 3x3. I think there were maybe 10 or so 3x3s. And like there were bigger parcels, and then a lot of people were just trying to get the one parcel, the 1x1. And I got it for I want to say 1 or 2 ETH and flipped it for 40 ETH. It was one of my most it was probably my highest ROI investment within a 3-month span of my entire life was this sandbox parcel. And I think I spent all my money after that on like CryptoPunks or rocks or me bits. I can't remember. But yeah, since then I haven't kept a beat on it. I don't know what's going on with it. But I did think their trailers were really pretty.
Yeah, like, well, I've just been trying to, like, I think I said before, I'm just trying to dip my toes into every single metaverse style project I can, even game and project that I can in this space, because you never know when someone's going to give you an airdrop or someone's going to say, hey, you played this, so we're going to give you a token allocation for this amount for doing this, right? And it's been like that in the space for a while. And saying that it's been profitable for a bit, where I've actually earned a lot of rare items. Because, like, for example, when you do some of these quests, you get like ways to customize your character with these NFTs. And I've got a few of them that are actually worth like 0.02, 0.03 ETH, which, I got them for free, right? And like I said before, I got 600 sand tokens, which I redeemed about half of that stack to get two of these Paris Hilton sandbox avatars, which I basically like, well, I just basically bought this, for nothing in a way, because I'm just like getting these tokens I earned, you know,
Yeah.
for
That whole
whatever.
world is really
And
interesting to me. It's very reminiscent of, I think, the lack of sustainability you see with liquidity mining, where new protocols will incentivize people to provide liquidity between their token and the broader world of crypto. Hey, provide liquidity between Ethereum and like insert my shitcoin for my project. And then, in exchange for that, they'll give you a percentage of newly emitted or newly mined tokens. And that's why they call it like liquidity mining. And this like play to earn thing feels a lot like liquidity mining, but with extra steps. Or instead of incentivizing people to provide liquidity, they're incentivizing people to play the game. But I think the similarity in both situations is I don't view either of them to be sustainable because if they, keep emitting these tokens and inflating the supply, eventually the value of those tokens just goes to zero. And, at a certain point, you start to lose players because, at the beginning, you might have been making $100,000 a week even. And then it quickly drops to like, okay, now you're making $10 a week. Now you're making $1 a week. Oh, fuck. Nobody wants to play the game now that we're not paying them to play. Oh, fuck. We have nothing. So, I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. Like, if you can make money doing it, do it. I just, I have this is not sustainable outlook on that sort of stuff. I don't know if you share the same opinion or not.
yeah, like it's always had that same run, or like you can earn a lot in the beginning and then slowly it goes down to nothing, basically vapor. And that does happen a lot. Um, I've been a part of a few Minecraft servers, like 8 years ago, where they give a lot of incentives for those who join the server, and then they reduce those incentives based on the server number and amount.
Uh-huh.
Like down the road, like basically you do like slash item or slash daily or whatever. And then basically those veteran users would be grandfathered in to have still those same
Hmm.
items. But the newer players wouldn't get those items. People would try to buy the older accounts associated with those servers, just to get basically have access to like somewhere that we're getting like diamond blocks a day, or like diamond armor a day
Yeah.
compared to leather armor,
It'd actually
So
be really interesting to run an experiment where you kind of test the sustainability of liquidity mining and play to earn mechanics with the Minecraft world, where you effectively, we could spin up some statistically relevant number of Minecraft servers, like like 100 or 1,000. I don't know. Not a statistician here, but we spin up 1,000 different servers and we create like three interesting tokenomic sort of scenarios we want to study. And we issue coins for each of these worlds. And maybe like a third of the worlds are for scenario A, a third are for scenario B, a third are for scenario C. And like the scenarios could be like, okay, like let's have a world where like we're incentivizing like, you know, people to play the game just broadly, no specific incentives. And then we'll have like scenario B where we actually want to, it's not like play to earn just to play. It's like we actually want to incentivize people to like mine cobblestone. And we kind of come up with like different incentives to see like, okay, like will people actually do what we want them to do? And, at what point financially do they say this is not worth me playing anymore because, I'm not making $1,000 a day on this new shitcoin. I'm making $1 a day. I mean, there's probably some pretty good experimentation you could do there, uh, just with Minecraft and like a shit coin. And obviously you don't even need to really interface the game with the token as long as you have, I suppose, some like robust way to track whatever the activity you're incentivizing is.
well, in Skyblock, I played that game mode, and they had the ability to buy generators, right? Basically, these Minecraft chests that would periodically provide very high value items you could sell, right?
And
If you did it manually, you'd have to build these massive fucking cactus farms or sugarcane farms, and you would sell that product that comes out of them for a pretty amount, which players would normally build, right? So, in every single one of those things, people would actually, even though they would just like wait around and keep island active to keep those gens active, just basically AFK, they found it, better to actually make a massive cactus farm. One, when someone comes to your island through a war, like slash warp, whatever, they would see that you put a lot of effort into building it compared to someone just standing by a chest, you know, and you get a lot of respect for the effort that you placed into building that massive cactus farm or massive sugarcane farm or massive, pigman farm, for gold. And so a lot of people, they didn't actually buy the generators and they just wait around those items and then it would show up on the battle top, whoever had the most, whatever. And then they can have a bigger island and then they upgrade to a bigger island or whatever. So like I feel that there would be a great dynamic of players. If it was a crypto sense for a token, I feel that there would be a lot of respect. There had to be some like building aspect or like showing your effort to basically create this massive structure to get your stuff compared to someone if they just bought a generator or a miner, probably like a miner or something, you know, to generate these tokens as an investment. So like, yeah, I would, it could probably be a fun way to, make a blockchain on Minecraft that everyone would think. You see the transaction go through the text chat. You could talk to players maybe only through if you did a transaction through the blockchain or whatever. Maybe have some lens protocol thing, plug in, add it to Minecraft where you could talk to players that way with favor. That'd be kind of cool.
so remember when like Minecraft was like, fuck blockchain, fuck NFTs, we want nothing to do with it. What did they actually do to prohibit that type of behavior? Because it seems to me like Minecraft has always been kind of open-ish from a development standpoint, for people to, people are encouraged to create mods and all these things. But I guess to what degree are they preventing people from creating some interface or API that could
They
you know,
aren't.
touch
They
the
aren't.
blockchain.
The whole point is that they don't want to have any legal issues with people generating money from their games. That is like a permanent thing. Apparently, subscriptions are allowed, right? So imagine you could buy a crypto miner on a subscription basis. That would be allowed. But if it was a permanent thing tied to that account, that would not be allowed. And it would be pay to win. Subscriptions, for some reason, are not considered pay to win.
Oh,
But the thing is, though, it's
but
mainly
how do they police that? Like,
they police it by if your server gets large enough to be seen, then it gets basically seen by them. If you have a server of like 10 friends, they're not going to really care if someone maybe snitches or tells the support or whatever. You know, they
mm,
really can't see it. It's
I
only if it
see.
comes
So
large enough to be a
it's
big
not
issue.
like technically blocked. It's rather when they notice they'll shut you down.
Exactly, yeah. And like I said, it's largely a legal issue they don't want to be involved with. They
So
don't want moms to call up.
issuing a subscription to access a Minecraft server, if that subscription was theoretically an NFT, that would be fine as
Yeah,
long
yeah,
as it was
exactly.
recurring. What if the NFT to access a server was a buy once, access forever? Say I issue
That wouldn't
10,000,
be allowed.
that
That
wouldn't
would
be
not be
allowed.
allowed. No, and it's got big enough to where um, people saw this, right? That they saw that, because if it is what comes really popular, right? A 10,000 person server, if everybody got 10,000 per server, that is a big enough server to get noticed by, Mojang. Um, they would notice and they would basically send the server owner an email or whatever, and they tell them, hey, you gotta stop doing this, or we'll shut your server down in a month, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever.
So you basically you could sell NFT subscriptions, but not one-time NFT access for life.
Exactly. And I think someone was talking about that on Twitter, like some 6551 or something. I don't know what the EIP was around there, or 6559. I don't know, where it's like NFT subscriptions, um, codable. So like, yeah, it could
Yeah, I mean
be.
they exist like Saigar, OX Saigar. I think he used to work with Suzuki as their lead dev, and he's went off to do his own thing. He posts amazing threads, but he's been talking about creating NFT subscriptions for a while. And I think he even put forward like an EIP standard for it. I don't know how that relates to Unlock Protocol, but Unlock Protocol is a really interesting open source project. It's been around for many years. It's not new. And they do NFT subscriptions. And it's something I've been looking at actually for the B3 Collective because I fundamentally believe that if you want to provide recurring value, you have to have recurring revenue. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up to not be a sustainable project and just further tempting yourself to be a pump and dump, right? Because you've collected the money. Now what? Peace out and do it again rather than, okay, like, how can we scale funding to scale output, scale utility, scale value to the community? So I've been looking at Unlock Protocol. It looks pretty cool. You can issue an NFT, it can have a supply cap, it could not have a supply cap. It could be transferable. It could not be transferable. People could buy 1 month at a time. They could buy a quarter or a year. You know, it's pretty cool. It would be pretty fun to actually do an experiment. I mean, I love Minecraft. I really, really love Minecraft, and it would actually be really fun to do an experimental world where we leverage Unlock Protocol to give a certain group of Web3/Minecraft enthusiasts the ability to like live in a world of both. But we study the rules enough on the Mojang side of the fence that we're protected from being shut down. Alternatively, if we go over the line and put ourselves in a situation where they would want to shut us down, I wonder if there's a way to like kind of like Silk Road gets shut down but perpetually spun up. I wonder if there's a way to decentralize the hosting of the server such that there's always like multiple redundancies so that no matter how many times they try to shut it down, like you can always just like rehost and respin up the world. That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
that's usually what happens when you have all these. I think it was 6 months ago or something like that. I think it was around ago. There was a website called Kiwi Farms, which was a one of these like garbage bins of the internet,
Yeah.
and people are trying to take it down all the time, take it down, it's hosting, and it's gonna move all the time. And the guy is now based out of Russia and hosts through Russia. So if you if you want to basically make sure your Minecraft server doesn't go down, try to find some good hosting that does that these places on the internet that are really degenerate, right? That they use so that I can shut down and use those. It's clearly those are working. Mm, But yeah, like it would be nice because they think NFT worlds right. I don't know if they rebranded to, but they try to have their world token. And it's kind of funny, right? Because I was telling people when I heard NFT worlds, like, dude, they're gonna get shut down. They're gonna hit with the EULA, right? It's like these companies, they are creating these projects and they don't know what they're doing, right? And EULA's been around. It's been enforced since what 2015, 2016, but it's been around since day one of Minecraft, right? It's now enforcing it. Um, and it's kind of, I'm like, wow, these people are actually spending 23 ETH for an NFT world and they're to get fucked, and they were fucked. Um, and A lot of people do need education. Even the devs need education too, what these things are. Because like I feel that the EULA would stop the whole NFT world thing, but also in a way, it's kind of a good thing that they didn't read the EULA because now it introduces the topic of actually creating blockchain stuff in relation to Minecraft. Because if NFT worlds didn't have that huge push and all the articles made about them being like a Minecraft, NFT thing, um, then I don't think people would even advance even a few years from now to even create on that scale, even at their attempt on creation of that scale, the NFT related or Web3 related Minecraft, which would be very beneficial to onboarding the masses, even all the children, the teens, and even young adults playing Minecraft to get in on the whole action, you know, learning about Web3 without even knowing about what Web3 is.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a whole academy, frankly, in Minecraft. Minecraft's so fun. I think it's hard to get people to spend a lot of time in a Discord. Discord is something that is very like async, and it's great for that. But you need a place for really strong person to person connections to happen in a synchronous environment. Obviously, Twitter Spaces are phenomenal for that, but it's not as immersive and it's not as strong of a connection as something like Minecraft or, frankly, a metaverse. Minecraft's the best metaverse that's ever existed, in my opinion. Second to potentially something like old school RuneScape
RuneScape,
or
yeah.
World of Warcraft or any of those MMORPGs. People are talking about hashtag metaverse like it's some new thing, but massive multiplayer online games have existed for, tens, 20 years. And they are much more fun, much more immersive, and they suck people in. The amount of time I spent playing RuneScape is absolutely obscene. And if a business could somehow piggyback on that for educational purposes or really anything, you know, basically turn that MMORPG into a medium that could be used by other people to compose their own experiences rather than people feeling like they need to spin up their entirely new, like, their own MMO, like, that's really powerful, and I think that's probably the opportunity people see with the metaverse is like, "Oh, I can build an experience in this world or city that a bunch of people are already in. It has traffic." You can't do that with, m you can't do that with any of the MMOs except for, like, maybe, like, Minecraft, you know? So that's why I see a lot of potential in the Minecraft thing. I would love to see somebody like Zen Academy, or one of the big Web3 schools open up an actual academy in Minecraft. I would be there. I would be a teacher, straight up.
Yeah, isn't there a library? Like, there's like a library place in Minecraft. They have like mods, whatever. So, like the books themselves are like banned literature around the world. They get banned around the world, and they're placed in this like Minecraft library. You ever
Uh,
heard about that?
I've never heard about that, but it sounds like something that would exist.
Yeah, because I think it was like 7 years ago. It's like the I do not know the name of it, but I know because I watched the video on it. It's like this massive library anybody can visit, and it had all these banned books that people were around the world banning, and they had in the library, and they have every book imaginable they try to put into that library as well. You can access them whenever you want through Minecraft. It's kind of crazy. And
Yeah,
hopefully
I'm
we can
looking it
have
up.
those.
It's called the Uncensored Library.
Yeah, see, like, all these things can be created. But the only barrier to entry to this whole Minecraft world thing is actually having a Minecraft account. 25, $27, maybe even higher now with inflation. Because some games are doing that like 26.95 or whatever the last price I was saying here. And yeah, because like for example, places I've actually been looking at um, putting more involvement in is on cyber, right?
Mm,
They're having these people are creating these crazy worlds. Like you can actually buy the curated ones from them that are made by OX Wolfgang.
mhm.
He makes all these ones that are like really really good. Like the old ones, like if you're able to like try to get some of his like Genesis ones on the curated section of OnSite on OpenSea, it's like 18E, the highest they're going for. And or you can actually join a group called with Weary named Metaverse Architects, where they actually create these worlds. They use Blender, these all these other tools to create these 3D models and build out these worlds. Uh, and basically, you can come on them, and learn about NFTs, metaverse building, however you want. And he actually has a metaverse course that is done through a token gated on cyber gallery. It's kind of crazy. You can learn
Oh,
from the
that's
gallery
interesting.
if you have that NFT. And I went through it once with, I think Bad Boy Chris has it too. He got the NFT for like 0.05, 0.005 ETH, whatever. And we were looking through these things, jumping from platform to platform, reading up how to use Blender, how to create like these things. And at the end of the whole thing, it's probably like reading through like 20 minutes worth of things. It actually shows the basics of creating um, these platforms and like having animated objects in a gallery that you can create on your own to customize your own things, and create these galleries or for you, these education centers within that metaverse environment. Should be kind of dope.
I was just sorry for the slow response. I was renaming our space. I don't know if it updated. Minecraft is the best metaverse is now the name of our space. I pinned a tweet from the Uncensored Library. It's beautiful. Whoever designed that place is like a god tier architect, as far as I'm concerned. It's insane.
Yeah, like I want to go to one of these days because during COVID, some of my friends were trying to get back into Minecraft, and they found like people making this right. They went to it, but I didn't go to it for some reason. I want to, but we were concerned about, hey, we wanted to go to Universal Studios, you know, and apparently someone recreated Universal Studios block for block, 1-to-1 ratio in Minecraft, and that was interesting. You go on the rides, you could turn on like a music pack to whenever you go in the park, you would hear the actual sounds and music and everything like you're in that area of the park in Minecraft, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, for Disney World, yeah, for all the other parks in the world as well they're trying to build. So yeah, like Minecraft is definitely a metaverse. All you need is literally a texture pack to change what the blocks look like, and also a resource pack to add some music and tunes and have, proximity to those areas to play that music. Like you're going into like the line of the Hulk ride or the or even, the Harry Potter world area, right? And you're just basically hearing everything, how it would actually sound. And, in Universal Studios or even Disney World or whatever.
Mm.
And that's what I found like, crazy. But also, speaking of metaverse things, I had a tweet early on in the space, like Portal Coin. I saw this. And they've already aimed or raised $150 million. And basically they're partnered with a bunch of like NFT projects in the space. They basically have like people that worked on Rockstar, um, Ubisoft, a bunch of other companies like coming together to create a literal open metaverse. all throughout this token called Portal Coin, which you can actually, it says soon you'll be able to, if you want to join the pre-sale, you can. But yeah, it's crazy that there's these people from Web 2 that are coming into this space and they're building out projects and they have all this like money raised to even, do this. And we don't need the Animoca, right? We don't need all these other companies to come and basically, I would say, grab onto empty projects where instead they're working with projects and they've already have a bunch of projects. You look at the site as well. It's turn on the music. It sounds very, very nice. The way they move around to show you what they're doing. It's really, really nice looking. And in my opinion, sandbox game is not the metaverse, right? Decentraland is not the metaverse. It's like a Minecraft plot world. CryptoVox is a Minecraft plot world, right? You know, like you could literally spin up a NFT project where you give off these plot worlds on a Minecraft server and call it CryptoVox. Let's call it Decentraland. You know, even getting to the point of calling it a sandbox game. But sandbox game actually has more of a, I guess of moving things that you can create, which they are developing now, which is kind of crazy. The way the characters move, the way these like creatures move as well, which I do feel that it is a good, sandbox experience within a sandbox game, like basically playing quest and mission. But I'm more focused on right now what On Cyber can do, and also what Portal Coin will do within the market.
Yeah, I'll have to look at send me the On Cyber educational course. I just wanna, like, read their website and get a better idea for that because I think there's a lot of potential. Obviously, education is changing, and a lot of the top teachers are, like, leaving the traditional system and moving into internet education because they can make a shit ton of money, teaching in a one-to-many sort of format. And, I think stuff like on cyber or really any sort of token gating via, blockchain, that that changes. It's just a new medium for this online education world. I'm pretty bullish on that. If I could make a living teaching about business and Web3 and investing in Minecraft and just have like students come in and I could just spend 6 hours a day just teaching, I would totally do that. I think that would be super chill.
Yeah, adding to the top of the space, his name is the Weary Luddite, and also you can find his if you want, I could DM you the what's it called, the Metaverse Architect Discord server, and you can like look through there. And if you look at his profile, he has this thing called Line Number 10. And I've been looking into that project because it's I gotta find what the guy's name is. I was in one Twitter space like a week ago. But basically he's created this project called The Line. And from point A to point B, entrance to entrance with the portals, you basically have one line that goes from end to end of the On Cyber gallery, place your NFTs on or whatever. And it's connected from line one is connected to line two is connected to line three, and so on. And it's crazy to think that there are like almost 600 line segments that are actively being used by artists and creators in this space, where it's literally just the line. So like if you want to try it out, you can go to oncyber.io/line whatever number you can choose, line whatever, and you'll see how everything's like done from end to end. And he said he's going to have it go on as far as it can, even up to 1 million. Eventually it gets in the space. But yeah, it's a crazy concept to look at where people are actively coming together and creating this massive collaboration on cyber galleries, these clusters, to promote their works. Because, like for example, if you don't, it is a good way, probably the biggest metaverse museum right now, because you go from portal to portal, from line one to line two to line three to line four, and so on. Seeing how everybody's things are, and you don't even know what the things are. It's all like new to you, You don't know what's in each of those lines as you go to them. So it's always like a little surprise to see.
Yeah. Man, all this chat makes me want to get back on Minecraft. Unfortunately, I've got other things to do today. If I could make my living just posted up in Minecraft, though, I absolutely would.
Well, let's make a Minecraft server.
I think
It's
I'm gonna make one for the V3 Collective. Just like I don't know. I love building stuff in Minecraft. I just right now I don't have as much time to do that as I would like, but if I can weave it into like V3 Collective stuff, could be an interesting thing. I like doing the community calls in Discord because that's just going to get the highest participation rate rather than like, do you not have a Minecraft account? Like, are you at a device that has Minecraft installed on it? So stuff like community calls is definitely good to do in the most accessible way. But I think there's a lot of community building stuff and fun, potentially educational sessions and workshops we could do within Minecraft. Or frankly, if people are not doing anything on the weekend, just post up for a few hours in Minecraft, talk Web3 slash, I don't know, build a wall, build a hut, kill kill and pillage some villagers.
well, what I'm most know, crazy about Minecraft and what it can do is I don't know if you saw that video where someone was creating a seed phrase within like a
Oh yeah.
Pokemon style like game, go from house to house, person to person, they create a seed phrase based on that random movement. I feel that that could be also done in Minecraft, right? Where we also have these Minecraft accounts. Um, like basically we just like take a bunch of Minecraft accounts and we tell someone to, hey, your Minecraft account is now your hardware wallet, or your secure wallet. And you join the server, it creates your seed phrase. And within this network of servers that are partnering or collaborating, all of your items that you earn will go to your Minecraft crypto wallet that is like cross server usage or something. And you can sell them trade items or whatever. So like imagine you do a bunch of effort in one server and it's linked to your Minecraft like crypto wallet, call it like that. And then you want to go to another server with all that effort done. You could take all your items over if you wanted to. You know, that'd be kind of nice. Your inventory, like your inventory, is basically your crypto wallet. Or like your e chest or maybe some other command to run a bigger like inventory, whatever. And that'll be like your crypto wallet in Minecraft. And it could also have like other seed phrase associated with it or whatever. But like if someone gets access to your Minecraft account, they would basically have your seed phrase, compromised that way. So it'll be in a way trying to secure your stuff as well, part of entry into the server. But yeah, like imagine going from server to server, having those items that you've made and farmed or whatever, uh, and go to different areas. Like imagine there's like different worlds, right? Imagine there's like a gold mining world, or like a sugarcane world, or like a plant world, or a zombie world, or whatever. And you go and attack people, and it goes to your inventory, cross inventory, and then you basically go from server to server and keep that same inventory. That'd be fine, really nice. And you can sell that to people too. So
Yeah. There's a lot of potential there with I think it's EIP 6551, the standard that lets NFTs be wallets themselves. I think there's a lot of potential for that with any sort of metaverse or Web3 gaming experience. I haven't really played around with any of that stuff yet, but I definitely think it's pretty cool. I mean, I might even use it. I thought about, I don't know if I would do it with my CryptoPunk V1, V2 set, but for other sets and collections, I think it would be cool to have sort of a parent NFT and then associate all of the like children to it. You can imagine like derivatives of a blue chip. When you transfer or sell the blue chip, all of the derivatives and other things you've collected as part of that set could move along with it. And I think similarly, you could do stuff in in video games, like where potentially like a character or an account is an NFT. And rather than having to give your friend your seed phrase to get access to your dope as fuck Minecraft account that's level 99 on insert server, you could instead just transfer them the NFT of your character, and they get the character, all of its underlying skills, which may or may not be on-chain items or NFTs. You know, you could totally imagine skills being represented as NFTs,
Artifacts,
but
whatever.
also, yeah, also all of the gold and sick items and enchantments. I think there's so much potential there. Same thing too with like a club membership. You know, um, there might be many derivative utilities and perks of being part of a club, and I think you could tie a lot of those sub NFTs within a parent NFT. It's really cool. I don't think people have even begun to figure out the use cases there. You know, everything I just described is pretty obvious surface level stuff.
Yeah, in Minecraft servers already, people they already have like multiple accounts, right? So for example, if they try to store um, items on in the inventories of accounts, so they just log in, clear a chest, and then their account goes to that chest, the second account, right? Gets those items, put them in the inventory, and logs off. You know, people have already created vault accounts or vault wallets basically in Minecraft doing that method, right? So like
Mm.
Minecraft is literally primed to be like what you said, the characters, your Minecraft account is your crypto wallet. People they are primed to do that, and I feel that I'm just waiting for Microsoft to just finally go on board and do it. You know,
Somebody should just rip it. Like, it can't be that hard to. I feel like some of the initial versions of Minecraft are open source too. I don't know if it still is or what, but you know, it is such a good breeding ground for NFT or Web3 or crypto innovation. And it would be great if Minecraft wasn't, or sorry, if Microsoft wasn't such fuckers about it. I mean, I understand like they have to protect themselves from a legal perspective, but it's such a missed opportunity, man.
yeah, like Minecraft. You know, it's they yeah the whole legal. Like, I get it, right? That they don't want to be accused of someone, like their parents' credit card or whatever, and then they are like send a thing in the mail from a lawyer saying, hey, my son spent $17,000 on your Minecraft server. It's your fault because you're Microsoft. You're the bigger person. You know, you're the bigger fish in the situation. You're the one. I'll give them the ability to make that server. And have it as his Mojang account associated with that server.
Yeah,
So it's your fault.
I
Not,
guess.
not my
Yeah,
fault or my
I
son's
blame
fault.
the
It's your
I
fault.
blame parents for giving their children unadulterated access to their financial accounts. Like, come on. That's just reckless.
Yeah, like I said, Minecraft is primed. To have everything. People can like NFT worlds could be done in a proper way of subscription. We've already went over that. If you wanted to, you could make a plot world, similar to Crypto Voxels and Decentraland, and even Sandbox game, and have people just go on there and associate themselves with those plots, or maybe even store assets on those plots too, if you create some security measures. But a lot of the times in Minecraft servers, the number one thing is if you join some random server that you don't know anything about, they could have a malicious admin or a moderator or even a staff member or even owner that can pull your IP and like DDoS you, right? Um, from those servers, or even try to
Oh
have
yeah.
the
There is
stepping
no
stones to like slaughter
better
you, dox you, and stuff.
there's no better like social example of why God mode can be abused than a Minecraft server admin. It's like I've seen kids really take advantage of their God mode status in those servers, and it's actually just it's why we need decentralized systems to a large degree, right? Like, how do you know that your mod isn't just spawning, you know, scarce resources into their account? You just don't, but decentralized systems help with that. Honestly, we should probably just make a DAO where the sole mission is to get the DAO just like uh banned by Microsoft. You know, like we know we've made it when we've caught their attention and they're like, no, you can't do this. And then from there the mission becomes how can we forevermore host our server such that no matter how many times they shut us down, we can still log in and connect and like build castles and pillage each other's castles.
like the Hydraverse, take one
Yeah,
down, one more take it, one head take its place, or whatever. The two
exactly.
heads take its place, the Hydra
Yeah,
server.
that's what we'll name it. It'll be something like a play on that name.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because I do know of some malicious Discord servers. I saw a video on it where there's a lot of like really bad materials going on those servers, and they have a bot on there that if someone reports a server and it goes down, it clones the server all the time, even the text channels and everything, and it replaces them in archive channels in the new server, re-invites everybody, gives them the roles that they previously had, and then it's like nothing happened, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy. This little senior stuff that
I'm
way.
I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna see if we wanted to host a server for Infinity and beyond, how would we do it? It'd also be nice if people could just connect with Wallet instead of having to have a Minecraft account. So I'm gonna dig into what we could do on that front. Maybe we'll test it with the V3 collective. But at a minimum, it would be cool to have just a proper Minecraft server for us to go hang out in.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice to have like a open trading platform within it. You run a command and then start trading with people through an interface. Your items kind of like from wallet to wallet. In a more secure way, or even just like regular transfer without having any like peer to peer things.
Yeah,
Kind of like like on Steam, right? Like safely Steam trading. Where
totally.
people were trading their items like that. So I feel like it could be in a similar way on Minecraft. Be nice, but remember those items though, they are permanent items. That people are obtaining. But you do have to find a way that anybody can get those items to, I guess, bypass the EULA. Because if it's like some like was it like the Sword and Thousand Troops, whatever, you really
Yeah,
can't have that as an item in the game
yeah.
unless it's a subscription item. Because
No,
that's
totally. I mean, and that like aside from it being against the EULA, it's just like it's not as fun that way. Always
so like
ruins
I
the
said, it
fun.
makes sense. That's probably why Steam hasn't gone full NFT because they want to get through the legal issues of every single country in the world attacking them for allowing people to transfer thousands of dollars worth of items from person to person without any like tax stuff going on or whatever.
Yeah. Have you ever played Eve Online?
I've heard about it, but I haven't played it.
Eve Online's really cool. I'll send you a trailer of gameplay that's just it's a very hype trailer. It's what got me to play the game for a span of I'd say like 3 to 6 months. And there's a lot of really cool things about that game to talk about. I think one of the USPs is it's the only MMO I can think of. I'm sure there are others where there's only one server. Everybody who plays the game plays on the same server, which is really cool because it makes Eve feel truly like its own world, where there is one singular global economy within this game versus, basically every other MMO. There's many servers, hundreds or thousands of servers. So that was a pretty cool thing. And when daily active users picks up, which happens every once in a while, like they'll have 80% of the player base online at the same time because there are wars that are like arranged between corporations and factions and conglomerates, and when that happens everybody's online waging war against each other. When that happens they actually slow down server time sometimes by like 1/6 of its real time because it's the only way the servers can handle peak usage of now 80% whatever of the player base being online. But the thing I found most interesting about Eve is there, if I recall correctly, 1 month's membership in Eve is called like Plex. There's actually a digital item, a digital asset that represents 1 month of membership, and it's a consumable thing. So say Plex, say it's $10 a month. You could buy 10 months for $100 and you get 10 Plex in your inventory. And now that becomes something you can trade with your peers. It also means that if you have Plex on board your ship, and somebody kills you, they can steal your Plex. So it starts to create this world of, where's your vault? Where do you really keep your shit secure such that nobody can steal your Plex? Because I don't know what the limits were on like, can you consume all of your Plex today so it's applied against your membership? Or can you only consume one at a time? Like you know, I forget how that works, but to a degree, you don't want to consume it all at once because you want to be able to trade it and liquidate it in the event. Um, maybe the game developers increase the monthly price and you got it at $10 a month and now it's $20 a month. Like, yeah, you probably do want to cash in on some of that. So it created this really fascinating correlation between real world fiat dollars and basically their entire in-game economy because any item in the game could be denominated in how many Plex is this worth? And Plex was directly denominated in USD via the primary sale or issuance of Plex by the game developers to their players. Which is where you start to get these crazy EVE Online headlines where it's like, today was the largest battle or that's ever existed in EVE Online, and like 200,000 real world dollars were lost. It's like this one battleship went
Holy
down
shit.
and it was worth like 30K, and they're not fucking around. Now, it's not that, the headline's a little misleading in that when you say 30K was destroyed, you think, whoa, did they actually like deflate US dollar fiat? And the answer is no. The money just was it's kinda like if you bought a gift card to Best Buy and then ripped it up. Now Best Buy just has the money and nobody has the ability to exercise that, uh, consumable credit for the money. So that's what happens in EVE
I
Online.
bet those players were fucking pissed.
I mean, and
Because
it
it's
it
like,
and it kind of makes, like, a really interesting macro incentive for the game developers to effectively incentivize times of war, which you could argue isn't much different from the way the real world works, you know? A lot of big banks and big countries, they actually prefer times of war. I mean, this might be getting into conspiracy theory land, but anybody who makes money when the market's volatile obviously likes war, because when wars happen, commodities are moving all over the place. Sometimes you can actually very much predict what will happen to, I don't know, steel during times of war. Obviously, the demand's going to increase, so there's a lot of front running that can be done informationally in that sense. But even if you don't have an edge or any sort of alpha, uh, when the markets are just moving up and down like crazy, there are obviously strategies to capture volatility. Whether or not you know which direction it's going to go in, there are just simply strategies to capture volatility. And so yeah, I always thought like I guess like the Eve Online guys, like their devs might be pulling some tricks and inciting warfare in their world.
so how are the Plex, like, passes seen? It's like someone press a button to scan a ship or scan a universe, whatever, if they have that much power on their ship, and they can say, "Hey, this area has an abnormal amount of Plex," and they went to and they saw a massive battleship, probably a fact because like in Minecraft servers, they have a thing called factions where you actually build up a base out of cobblestone walls, water protects them, from TNT attacks, and then people attack them with sand and TNT pillars and whatever, and they like blast through them, and they go into their massive core that has all their items,
Yeah.
their spawners like that. I feel that
Well, so
that's
at
similar.
its core, Eve, and again, I didn't play very long, but the map of the game is kind of like it looks like this big constellation of connected dots, but each dot is sort of like a new rendered
Like other
area
side,
of uh not quite. I mean, perhaps. I kind of vaguely remember the way that map looks, but basically in Eve, there are these areas of space. I forget what they're called. And if you want to go from one area of space to another, you would go through a Stargate. And so you basically load one area of space to the next area of space. And they're just big 3D open areas that you can float around with your spaceship. Now, of course, some of them have features like asteroids that can be mined. Some of them have space stations that act as your home base or headquarters. And then there's like stargates or portals to go kind of like from adjacent dot to a dot. And then there's these like longer term or longer distance. I forget. One's called like a portal and the other one's called like a Stargate. And those ones can take you across know, almost the entire galaxy or from galaxy to galaxy. But the point I'm trying to make is the whole game is actually like just a big territory war. So there are conglomerates, and then within conglomerates, there are corporations. So a corporation is effectively a clan, and the conglomerate is made up of many corporations that you effectively have an alliance with during times of war. And conglomerates go to battle with other conglomerates to, basically fight over areas in the galaxy with like really precious resources. And I think like when you die in Eve, if you like die, you actually respawn back at your home base's headquarters, which is kind of like a safe space. Like you can roam around your headquarters or your space station, your home base without really fear of getting hurt. And your conglomerate and corporation can kind of build up armaments so that if enemies were to enter your space, they would like effectively be like insta killed. So it's really hard to take over somebody's home base. But the further you venture away from your home base, the less regulated the area of space you're in gets to eventually you'll get to these points where you're kind of like in the Wild West. And then there's pirates. There are literally players that will wait outside of Stargate, and the moment you teleport through, they'll throw down like an area of effect slow, and they will like kill you and steal all of your shit. So these conglomerates are constantly waging war for space. I mean, literally space, like real estate, which is, that's like the age old game of life. It's just humans fighting over land and resources. And that's what Eve is. And everything is very, very um, player generated stuff. And it gets fucking serious. Like what I'm describing doesn't even it doesn't do justice to how intense this game is. I mean, for one, it is exclusively pay to play. And I don't mean pay to play in that you get sick items when you pay money. Like if you want to play the game, there's no free version. There is only premium version. So that alone sets the tone for how serious all the players are. But in addition to that, um, if you want to join a corporation or a conglomerate, players actually conduct their own background check and due diligence on
Oh
applicants
my god.
outside of the game. They might ask for real world identifying information. There's very serious onboarding criteria for like, oh, you'd like to join our thing? Well, like submit your application here. Tell us what your working hours are. Let us know when you'll be available. Let us know what your skills are. Um, you know, all sorts of things like download this voice chat client, which is secure and encrypted end to end so that when it comes time for battle, like we have secure messengers. And mainly what they're doing is they're trying to verify that you're not like a plant or a spy from an enemy conglomerate because some people in this game will wage multi-year long efforts to climb the ranks of an enemy corporation or conglomerate just so that they can be like frankly like double agents or information brokers.
Usually
um
called inciting people inside those, like
exactly. And
bases.
I like it's got bad. It's gotten so bad. You can read about this online. There was one war in Eve where they actually found the real world location of one of the highest ranking members of the enemy army. And right when the war started, they went to his home in the real world and cut power to his house so that he couldn't participate in the war. The war.
Yeah, like that actually happens in this faction circuit. So basically, there were this top faction is called Infamous, and then there's a bunch of other ones. They're like Corleone or a bunch of other, like people naming these little mass faction groups. And it, and they would have these hacked accounts that would have a client and that would see with tracers if anybody comes into their faction's area, right? And it does happen. This person coded it so like if the tracers went off on that account, it would text his phone whenever the faction when it's in trouble and come online, they would attack. Some people what they would normally do is you run the borders of their base. If anybody's building any like TNT or any like TNT launcher boxes aimed at their walls, right? They do that multiple times a day with multiple time zones of players playing. And you'd have people, they call it inciting, where they would join you know, the faction, and then they would learn the inner workings of it. They would gain access, and they would, in the middle of the night, they would just steal all the spawners of all the mob spawners, and then they would just like sell them on the open market for people to buy. And yeah, it's like I can see the same thing happening with Eve, you know, because people they were getting so crazy about you know the Minecraft factions. They would, like you said, they would DDoS, cut their power. Um, they heard one of the members was going on a weekend vacation, right? He had his computer running with the bots running to like ensure that his base was protected and would inform other members that had access to this notification service. And they literally cut off his water, his power, his gas. Yeah, they social engineered all that shit, cut off all his utilities. He had no way of getting on, and his base was destroyed at one of the times that players were on, like that weren't online. And it even got to a point where that person retaliated, hired his own hacking team, sent a crane to some person's house, and and apparently it was almost demolished. Like it was like almost ready to be swung with the wrecking ball, almost demolished. One person apparently had a scheduled appointment to have their car towed to the dealership to have it like inspected or upgraded or whatever, something. So like this person came, like woke up one day, the car was not in their driveway, and it was at the dealership, and people were literally waging wars, like you said in game, but also going IRL, you know, cutting, doing all these utilities and stuff. And Minecraft is a great sandbox for that stuff. And um, I think during Pokemon Go era, you know, people were creating these bots that would, or these services that will allow you to spoof your location on the earth. And people that were doing the same stuff on Minecraft, right, do all that hacking stuff, were the ones that were actually creating these um, these spoofing things. And for Pokemon Go, like the same people, like wow, it's like a small world out there when you have people that you know that were literally swatting people, you know, do all this shit and like doxing whole clans of people that are creating these services out there to spoof your connection for Pokemon Go, the main one. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, like my question for you for Eve is how much have you spent? You're talking about, you know, paying $10 a piece for I don't know how much have you spent. You probably joined some conglomerate or whatever. You have to prove your work, maybe give them a package or something like that, or provide some service
I
to
wanna
someone.
say I bought, like, 6 months of membership, and that was the extent of the money I spent in the game, but you surely could, like, you could buy 5 years of Plex and use that as a way to barter for in-game assets.
Did you join like any conglomerate or any faction or whatever? And that group?
Yeah, I joined this, corporation called Brave it's called, like, the Brave Newbies, and the Brave Newbies is part of some, like, broader conglomerate, and effectively our purpose is, they equip us with, like, the minimum skills needed to pilot this very specific ship that's, like, pretty small, hard to target, and fast, but also not very expensive, and when war breaks out, they basically command this fleet of brave newbies to kamikaze very valuable enemy ships. Like, they literally use us as human missiles, and that was my function. I never got to
You were the
experience.
cannon fodder.
Yeah, I was literally a kamikaze, and that is the purpose of that corporation, Brave Newbies. And, we were allianced with, like, much cooler, you know, higher ranking corps, but we that was our job. But in exchange for that, like, we got to be part of something bigger than us, and we got free resources. So, like, in the game, when you want to level up skills, um, you basically get books, and books are consumable and they cost money. And you basically queue up a book, and a book might take an hour to read as you're level 0 at a certain skill. Maybe it's like mining asteroids, like level 0 book would take you 10 minutes to read. level one book would take you like an hour to read. And eventually it gets to the point where certain books cost a shit ton of in-game currency and take you months or years to read. So
Can you
the
speed up
whole
that time though of reading?
no, you can't. The time is exactly like real time. It's completely correlated to real world time. So your ability to level up is just a game of prioritization. Basically, like where do you always are learning a new skill. Like if you don't have something queued up, you're basically not fucking playing the game. So every
Just like real life.
yeah,
Have a book
exactly.
queued up,
You
playing
know,
the
in
game.
RuneScape, you actually have to like do the clicks, right? But assuming you could get like a computer to do the clicks for you, that's effectively the approach Eve takes because they know people can just kind of click around and automate things with like ghost clicks and mice and stuff. So they're effectively like, all right, like how much time do you want to commit into what? And so when you start the game, you might queue up like 100 books for the next week. But very quickly, like 6 months in, I had like three or four things queued up in my queue and that had me good for like the next month. And I just knew that like these were the things I wanted to do because I'm trying to get the minimum requirements necessary to do this quest or pilot this ship.
So
But when I joined the
this is
corporation, they
this is
gave
the
me
question I have with the
when
reading.
I joined the corporation though, just to finish that thought, they gave me books for free, which is really cool.
So with the reading thing, it says it could take a year to read something. Do you need to actually buy a year's worth of Plex to maintain you to be constantly reading that book for that mission or whatever?
Yeah, I'm sure that if you stop playing, your queue is probably disbanded. I don't think your character would continue to level up. That'd be like a silly lapse in the game developers, design mechanisms to get people to pay for membership. But I'm sure, like a lot of players, once they get good enough at the game, they don't have to buy their membership anymore. They make so much money in the game, they're able to just buy Plex with their in-game wealth. Or alternatively, there might be corporations that have big enough war chests that they just pay for membership for their top players, potentially. Actually being high up in Eve and managing a conglomerate or a corporation, it's probably one of the better translations to your ability to run a DAO or frankly, a real world business. In terms of clans and games go, being a clan leader in RuneScape taught me stuff. Being a clan leader and other MMORPGs taught me stuff, but it was not nearly as complex as what existed in Eve. I mean, that shit is incredibly organized, incredibly complex, and to a degree that it's very autonomous. So all they're missing is really the decentralized nature of blockchain technology. But if you could apply that to like the world of Eve corporate managers, like you've got yourself some pretty stellar DAOs in the making, I would say.
I wonder how you'd be able to convince these people that run basically these conglomerate DAOs, right, to actually make an actual DAO, you know, with their stuff, and maybe having some token based way of transacting, to get these Plex books or the Plex, membership passes or whatever
Yeah, no,
to their
that'd be a really cool
members.
conversation to
You
have with them. I'd basically be like, look, like come up with a way for your community to like fund your treasury, which might be used to give everybody a free year of playing, or I don't know, give you more weapons for battle.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like someone hasn't, because a lot of these games people do inside. Like I said, they like took all the mark spawners out of the base that would generate the income from the drops, and it's kind of crazy how I think it's the fear, right? Because like imagine you do inside a a conglomerate or whatever, you get like let's say $100,000 worth of these clicks, thing, and then he's dead, right? People would find out it's you, and then maybe they would like swat you and fucking dox you and like make your IRL life a living hell until you give back those items, right? You
Yeah.
said people are serious about the game. I wouldn't put it past, for someone to literally like swat them, dark web their fucking whole life, make them like, some people do, they actually, I heard about this is that they will contact the credit bureaus and make you legally dead. Um, to the credit bureau. So you'll wake up one day and your credit score will be 0, and you have to like fix that shit.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'd be
funny
going
because
that
like,
far.
all of that stuff is, like, it's already a risk to anybody on the internet, but for whatever reason, it's the world of gamers that actually seems to execute upon those malicious opportunities.
Maybe we should have a V3 spot in this Eve game, and we all just like come together. Maybe have some of these roundtable sessions on a planet somewhere or
We would be
events of the
such
game.
noobs. It was such a crazy game. It's notoriously referred to as spreadsheets in space.
The thing is, though, is like I have played many games. I have done many spreadsheets. I think one of my recent tweets was literally creating one for the best possible way to achieve that minimum some requirement and this overlord game experience I'm playing with my NFT project. And I was like, wow, how much time I spent? I'm like, well, it's only 2 hours putting that together. And a lot of players want to get to this certain tier. What you have to do is find out what people are trying to do and trying to obtain and basically create something that goes along more those lines. Like I found that there was a need of someone saying, what is the easiest way of what to achieve to get to level 6, right? Okay, so I have a bunch of these ways that I found out the cheapest way with the best possible outcome for areas, find level 6. And then that's what they did. They started sharing around, even the owners of Creeps were like, wow, this is the crazy little thing. I'm like, well, it's just a little spreadsheet that I put together. Because that's what I was doing for other games as well. Like, for example, like mobile games, I was creating spreadsheets of the best troop formations to attack people with, depending on what they had. And people would, and like top players would literally contact me and say, hey, what should I use against this person? You know, and hey, this person has this amount of troops. They scouted them. What should I use for my troop formation? And I said, well, you'd have make sure it's a rally, have this many people in there, have this much power involved, and send one rally and send me the battle report of that rally, and then I'll tell you what to continue doing. And that's what I would do. And I'll give them like different formations to use. Like, for example, the intro formations of more infantry compared to more siege items, and then you slowly give up, reduce the formations or change them depending on what's left in the castle. So it's like, imagine that going through with Eve to be such a massive thing. And how,
I think I might have lost you. Hello.
okay, hello, yes. So yeah, like,
You should play. You should check it
yeah,
out.
I want to, I want to try it out. I am into space games like that. I've been playing No Man's Sky for a bit. So yeah, like, it'd be very interesting to play there.
I've got a dash, but I'm quickly looking up this trailer. I'm gonna DM it to you. Uh, it's 3 minutes and 42 seconds. If you're not hype on Eve after this conversation, you will be after watching this. All right, sweet. I've just sent it to you over Twitter DMs. Um, Lost Potato, Drew, obviously Jake. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys maybe Thursday next week or later this week. All right, peace.